Hello booktube, hello book friends, welcome back to my channel and another video. This is the quick to judge challenge. So I was tagged by Pat at book chat with Pat. Sorry, Pat. Pat tagged me. The original challenge was created by Ali Risdal, and I'll link to their channels below. Now, this is a relatively simple concept. You pick 5 to 10 books from your TBR. In my case, I picked 5, and you read the first paragraph from each, and then you rank them in your order of preference, and the one that comes top you add to your upcoming TBR. Now, I think by the time this video goes live, I will have done, or you will have seen, a shopping from my shelves for March video. So this is an additional book that I'll be adding probably to my March TBR. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I've got 5. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I thought there were more books there than 5 for a moment then. Well, there are, because 2 of them are compendium volumes, so I'm only picking 1 book out of each of those. So the first book on the list is, that's not showing up very well, I Am Pilgrim by Terry Hayes. This was a book that featured in 100 or 50 best spy novels, and I'd not heard of it. And as you know, I'm if you've watched this channel for a while, you know I'm quite a spy fiction reader. And then I saw it in my local, in fact, yeah, two of the books here have come from my local book exchange telephone box. So we'll see whether one of those makes the cut. So, there are places I'll remember all my life. Red Square with a hot wind howling across it, my mother's bedroom on the wrong side of 8 Mile, the endless garden of a fancy foster home, a man waiting to kill me in a group of ruins known as the Theatre of Death. Okay, so that's book number 1. Book number 2 is, again, this doesn't show up very well. Maybe if I show the spine, is Ritual by Graham Masterton, another book that came from the book exchange box. So this is a horror novel. And outside the restaurant window, behind the trees, a huge thundercloud ballooned up, luridly orange in the afternoon sunshine. Anvil-headed, apocalyptic, the kind of thundercloud from which Valkyries would have been tumbling. I like that. This, again, this is the second of the omnibuses. Nothing's showing up very well today. It's all these really glossy covers. This is a novel by John Katzenbach in the heat of the summer. And I first found out about this novel by watching a film in, I think it was the late 80s, which I think was called The Killing Season, and that's the film based on this novel. And I've had a copy of this book pretty much since I saw the film, and have never read it. So what's that, 30-ish years? So maybe now's the time. I might read more than the first paragraph, because the first paragraph is only a sentence. A runner found the first victim near the 13th green. He was an ordinary man, middle-aged, worried about his heart and his paunch, a broker whose mind fixed on figures, stocks and options as he pounded out laps around the perimeter of the golf course. It was a private club in the midst of an exclusive section of the county, a place of manicured lawns, high pines and sweeping palms. The morning heat had risen fast and hard, and the runner travelled his route out of instinct and familiarity, not watching where his feet landed. Didn't know about that. Might be more than another 30 years. The next one is by Stephen Chbosky, if I pronounced that correctly, called Imaginary Friend. And I've mentioned this on the channel before, I think, and I've had this on my TBR for a while. It was recommended, I can't remember by who, but it was a book. It was another booktuber, but it was before I had my booktube channel. So again, this is another one where the first paragraph is a sentence, so I'm going to read the first 2 paragraphs. Don't leave the street. They can't get you if you don't leave the street. Little David Olsen knew he was in trouble. The minute his mother got back with Dad, he was going to get it. His only hope was the pillow stuffed under his blanket, which made it look like he was still in bed. They did that on TV shows, but none of that mattered now. He had snuck out of his bedroom and climbed down the ivy and slipped and hurt his foot. But it wasn't too bad. Not like his older brother playing football. This wasn't too bad. Don't know. Don't know. I'm kind of getting a feel. And then finally book number 5, Stephen King, You Like It Darker. This was, I think, his last year's new release, which I haven't read yet. So, and I had it pretty much when it came out. It's a book of short stories. So here goes. First paragraph is a paragraph. My father, my famous father, died in 2023 at the age of 90. 2 years before he passed, he got an email from a freelance writer named Ruth Crawford asking him for an interview. I read it to him, as I did all his personal and business correspondence, because by then he'd given up his electronic devices, first his desktop computer, then his laptop, and finally his beloved phone. His eyesight stayed good right up to the end, but he said that looking at the iPhone's screen gave him a headache. At the reception following the funeral, Doc Goodwin told me that Pop might have suffered a series of mini strokes leading up to the big one. Now, sort these into I think I've got a bottom 3. Oops, I've got a bottom 3. So these are the 3 that I'm going to eliminate as not now, but not never. So those are 3. And then I'm struggling to decide between Stephen King and Graham Masterton. I'm going to go with Graham Masterton just because it grabbed me just that little bit more than the Stephen King. Yeah, so that's the one I'm going to add. Graham Masterton's Ritual. Add that to my March TBR. There you go. I enjoyed that. That was good fun. Thanks, Pat. And thanks, Ali, for creating the tag in the first place. Do you agree? Would you have picked one of the others? Let me know in the comments below. Which one would you have picked? In fact, I tell you what, of the remaining 4, can't count, it's too early again. Of the remaining 4, tell me which your favourite was in the comments. And what I'll do is I'll tot up the the scores on the doors for the other 4, and I'll add that one to my March TBR as well. So yeah, so I'll pick 2 out of the, well, I'll pick one. I've picked one. You guys get to pick one of the remaining 4 and tell me what it is in your comment below. Thanks. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have been watching, thank you, and I will speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.